spring it's been good. It's been cool. It's still a young team. Since a lot of seniors leaving, they really meant a lot to the team. So we still young-minded, young quarterback. But I feel like we can still get going. Throughout the spring.
Of this group, the guy that I've been watching all huddle for 3 years now or whatever. Is it crazy to you that we're talking about senior year now already?
Facts, yes sir. I remember freshman year, well, the senior, my summer year of coming to be a freshman. I ain't really think I was gonna start, so I was level head. I was real hungry. I feel like that was, really one of them years that it was one of them years to where I was real hungry. But like now, I'm just still gunning for that.
You good?
Still gunning for the state champ that everybody want.
Over the last 3 years, what would you look at as kind of the biggest way that you've grown from that young guy that was coming onto campus and kind of hungry but maybe not having a great handle on everything that was about to happen to where now you're getting ready to be a senior leader on this team?
Just the coaches. The coaches, it's been a lot. They just helping me, get to where I need to be, focus on what I need to focus on. As a young-minded player coming in as a freshman, not knowing that, not know what to expect. The coaches, they really helped me a lot, especially Coach Scott, Devontae Scott.
Yeah, I was going to ask you something else and then get to him, but since he already came up organically in the conversation, having a guy like that, you're the guy that we've all kind of been watching here as, okay, here's a college offer, there's a college offer type deal. To have somebody like Coach Scott that was in your shoes a little longer ago than he probably wants to admit, 10 years ago or so. How big of a resource is that to just have a guy that went through a recruiting process and what has been his biggest message to you on how to handle some things?
Just from coming where we both come from, the same school, the same idea. So it's been good, just knowing that I was in his footsteps. He always told me that I reminded him of, when he was younger. So just keeping up level head. He always told me that my offers was really gonna come in because I ain't really think they was all gonna come in, but they just started coming in fast. But he just told me keep confidence.
Your development as a player the last couple of years. When you look at the guy you were as a freshman that was already getting an opportunity to make some plays, right off the bat with this group, to now, what do you look at as kind of the biggest ways you've grown and developed in terms of what you can bring to the field on top of some of the ways you're seeing things in the leadership and everything?
Probably just keeping my quarterback, just keeping him up, updated on what's good and what's bad, just letting the young guys, fill in.
As y'all get ready for this fall, you still got, a few months ahead.
Yes, sir.
You guys will wrap up spring next week and then, get through the rest of May and everything that you try to accomplish in June, July, August camp, everything. What needs to happen over these months to position y'all to have the type of season you want to once the fall does hit? What's this off-season outlook and what you want to see from yourself and from the guys around you?
More learning from the offensive line, from really the whole offense. My focus is on the offense, the standpoint. With the defense, they came out real strong, in the spring. They was whooping us a lot. But it starts from the offensive line. That's what's going to get us throughout the season.
I told Andrew I wasn't going to ask him who's winning more reps when you guys are matched up. I was asking, what makes you tough to cover. What have you seen from that guy? He's another guy that, he's a grade behind you, but he's been an all-district player a couple times already.
Yes, sir.
And been able to make plays from an early age. What has stood out about him and his development?
Andrew, he one of the ones, It's on film, it's on tape. All you got to do is come see him play. He one of the ones. But we go at it a lot at practice. Sometimes, he was a young player, so I used to have to get on to him, tell him, let's go at it, But, like, now it's just natural. We just, we just go at it.
What can this team accomplish this fall? What's the goals? How much are y'all talking about specific things right now that you hope to accomplish versus maybe if it's still just in process mode and not even talking about that kind of end of a...
Finding the identity of the team, it's a new team, new young mind team. So we're just trying to find the identity of the team, just focus on each other, bring that brotherhood back to what it was at first. With a lot of players leaving, it's a new team. So we just got to figure out who we really are.
We mentioned before, you're a guy that's had some college offers come into play over the last couple years, and a bunch from all over the region, and even dipping up a little farther north to some big offers that have come in.
Yes, sir.
What has that been like to see that unfold, and how has everything been going of late as now we get into like the actual grind of it a little bit, and heading into this final high school summer?
I mean, it's different, coming from a kid from Ferriday, Louisiana, It's not normal for, people from out of Ferriday to get those type of interests. But from now, it's been cool. I've been loving it, I just love, the way that, some coaches, you could tell what's real, you could tell what's not real. So I just love, I could peep, just what's really going on.
Do you remember being pretty young and hearing about Devontae, or
yes, sir.
A couple years older hearing about Rosenthal and Dontrez and those guys?
Yeah, I used to look up to them. Like, we all used to stay around the same area. So, like my grandmother, she's a neighborhood. She in the neighborhood where she just fixed all the, that's where everybody used to go get snacks and stuff and candy. So I used to always see them in and out my grandma's house. So I always looked up to them boys.
What's it like to be a next name in that line, a guy that has a chance to go play college ball out of Ferriday, to realize, okay, Desmen Jefferson's name is going to be one of those names that the next up kind of hearing about?
I mean, it was good. The young kids, they always keep me motivated, just knowing that they looking up to me. I got to do this right. I got to do this right. Just not making poor mistakes I used to make when I was young.
Who have been the schools that I guess have been the most consistent with you recently, that you hear from the most, that kind of express that they really want you to be a part of this class, kind of prioritizing it, or maybe some places that are really pushing that they want to see you in June?
Old Dominion, Tulane, and UL. I'm really big on UL and Tulane. Like they always keep in contact. Like I just talked to Coach this morning, Coach Bam this morning. He's stay in contact really the most. And that's what I like about him.
Let's talk about them a little bit, I guess. What's been his message on what they see could be your fit and your opportunity in that program?
He came visited a couple of times. I think they want to see me to run a 40. So I think I'm gonna go out there in June and run a 40 for him.
Have you been running 40s up here? You got
yes, sir.
Times?
I think
how has that been going?
at the UA camp, I ran a 4.48, I think, and I just ran 4.45 hand time out here. So I'm just really, it's, back and forth, just trying to get back on what's really, what I really need to work on the speed.
I know, y'all been running track as well.
Yes, sir.
So that's been good.
Yeah, I think we came second in 4x1 in the state. Yes, sir.
Y'all were looking forward to that race too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How much y'all enjoy flashing the speed component in the spring?
It's good. It's good just showcase, what we really have at Ferriday High. So, but we didn't, this year we didn't do a lot of track practice. We was just in the weight room, based on the weight room. So for to go out there and not practicing a lot and come out second in state, I think we did good.
What are you looking for in a program? When you're talking to some of those coaches and they're obviously trying to find out about you, and if you're the right guy on their board that they want to have be a part of that class, what are you looking for from a school that's going to kind of make it feel like that's the right home for you?
Just based off, the coaches keeping it real, not sugarcoating nothing with me. And I'm one of them young men who willing to just sit down and learn for a couple years, about 2-3 years. I'm willing to learn, pick up what's going on.